Everyone, welcome back to the Mindful Muscle Podcast, the show where we talk about building strength in both body and mind, especially for those just getting started on their health journey. Today's episode is a little different. It's just me, Jodi. My co-host Gio and I had planned to record together like we normally do, but life threw my family a curveball. My husband was recently in a serious accident, and at the time of this recording and days away from surgery, so many things in our lives have been a bit chaotic and off our normal schedule. But that's exactly why I wanted to still show up and record this. Because if we wait until life is perfect to prioritize our health, we'll be waiting forever. There's always going to be stress, setbacks, and obstacles. The key is learning how to keep going through them with compassion, flexibility, and grace. So today, I'm sharing some personal updates, the raw reality of what this past week or so has looked like, and a few reminders I think we all need when life feels heavy, especially if you're just starting out and wondering how to quote unquote do it all. You don't have to. You just have to do something. Let's talk about what that looks like when life is anything but easy. But in case you are new here and this happens to be your first episode, normally I do episodes with my friend Gio. Him and I both on our own health and wellness journeys and have collectively lost and maintained 140-pound weight loss. And we're here to show others, especially those starting out, that sustainable change is possible. So if this is your first time listening, I hope you get something out of this unique episode, but I invite you to check out some of our normal episodes. So here we go. So last Saturday, Saturday, June 14th, at about 2 a.m, I received a distraught phone call from my husband that he was in a car accident, a real bad car accident with somebody allegedly impaired to drive, allegedly under the influence. So I got dressed and I hauled butt to the hospital where they were taking him. And it's been chaotic ever since. He is extremely lucky. His own recollection of what happened is he was on the on-ramp on the bypass in our area, and somebody was going too fast the opposite direction. They were going the wrong way on the on-ramp, and it turned into a head-on collision. And both my husband and the driver needed to be taken to the hospital by ambulance. But the fact that he was able to call is something. It really could have been a lot worse than it was. We often we've been hearing from loved ones is, we're so lucky that he's here. And they're absolutely right. It could have been so much worse than what it was. But the emotional, financial, physical toll that this has brought to our family, especially due to someone allegedly under the influence, it's been scary. It's been stressful. It's heartbreaking. My husband's going to need surgery as a result of this accident. He's not going to be able to work for a while because his job requires both hands. So there's going to be a loss of wages. I am working more, but still he's the breadwinner and he needs help. He needs help getting to and from appointments. So it's been stressful trying to navigate how we're going to proceed from here. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of pre-op tests, specialist appointments, logistical stress. And I'm not going to name the other party. I don't even have their name, but it's just been absolutely scary. We're navigating through a temporary disability with his hand. The other day, maybe the day after the accident, when he came home, he was laying on the couch. And my husband's about 100 pounds heavier than I am. And I had to help him get up off the couch. Now, I was able to do it. This is another example of, I know Gio says a lot that we're training for life. We're training to be able to be independent and chase our grandkids. But it's also moments like this when life throws you a curveball and your strength is what you have at your disposal. So it's not always about aesthetics. This is a perfect example of why we train. So what has this looked like when it comes to my health and wellness journey? It's been an absolutely delicate dance, to say the least, because he is recovering. Do I go to the gym? Do I go to CrossFit or not? And it's just like that question. Is it wrong for me to still prioritize this time? And the truth is I have to take it day by day. I'm not going to be able to train this upcoming week as normal, and that's okay, because this week and the last week don't look like a normal week for me. And I keep having to remind myself to give myself compassion. It's a delicate dance between not wanting to make excuses not to do it, but also showing myself grace when things are too chaotic and hectic that I can't make it work. So I still struggle with the guilt of it, going to CrossFit or going to the gym, even though he's not in pain and he's encouraging me to go. I know the next 3 days, it's going to be hit or miss if I'm able to go, and that's okay. I just have to remind myself that this isn't a normal week, but something is better than nothing. So it's just a reminder to myself that you can't pour from an empty cup. I need the gym time for my mind as much as my muscle, but it's not a failure if I just can't make it work during this stressful time. Other things that have been going through my mind because of this. Now, Gio and I both don't drink alcohol. Neither one of us are recovering alcoholics. I don't remember his exact reasons, but for me, I decided to be alcohol free years ago. When I first started my journey, I would not drink as much because I was restricting how much I ate, and alcohol ate into those calories. And I wanted more food than drink. So I would rarely drink. And then when I would drink, as I was losing weight, as it became more and more rare for me to drink, it would hit me hard, and I wouldn't take much for me to start slurring. And I don't like that feeling. I don't like the feeling of being out of control of my body. So I choose not to drink. And it's been years, maybe 4 years since I've drank. And in the past, it's made other people kind of judgy. If I'm out with family and I'm not drinking, I get this look. And I think the look is because they feel like I'm judging them for their choice to drink. And even with this accident, it's it's still true. What I would tell people is as long as I don't care if you drink, as long as your drinking doesn't impact me. In the case of this accident, allegedly, drinking did impact my life. And that's not okay. I know how many times I see videos about people screaming in the grocery store about this food is poison. Seed oils are killing us. And if you dig deep into their social medias, they drink regularly. I just can't wrap my head around that, demonizing specific foods, but still drinking alcohol. If someone claims alcohol even moderately is healthy, but thinks processed food in its entirety is poison, they're not into health. They're into fear-based trends, and they're probably selling you something. Okay. It's not about being perfect, but you have to be honest with yourself. If you're doing it, if you're avoiding this particular food because health, you should be scrutinizing other things in your life that there's the science and research actually backs up that isn't good for you in the case of alcohol. So jumping back into how else this situation has impacted my health and wellness journey. I'm somebody on a normal week, I prioritize my steps. I aim for 12,000 steps or more a day. I aim for my fiber goals. Women are supposed to get at least 25 grams of fiber per day, men 38, and I'm usually like on top of it. And both step goals and fiber goals are barely being met. They're not being met most days, if I'm completely honest. I've been struggling a bit with emotional eating. It's crept in. It hasn't been a daily occurrence. It hasn't been a binge or a spiral like restrictive eating long term in the past has done, but I have not been perfect. I have been guilty of emotional eating and not hitting my goals. And I'm saying this not to scare anybody, but I want to be completely honest. I'm not perfect, but I'm still making the effort to show up for myself. Even when I eat mostly minimally processed foods within my caloric goal, my stomach's also been an absolute complete mess. I've been bloated. My cortisol, I bet, is through the roof. And even though it is extremely stressful time with all the crazy supplements and products and influencers screaming about cortisol and cortisol face, all I'm doing is continuing to put one foot in front of the other. I'm not doing anything different other than trying to do what I can to manage my stress and trying to show myself some self-compassion, because I figured that's going to lower my cortisol better than beating myself up. That's going to be more effective in the long run, but I'm still trying to put one foot in front of the other. I'm not beating myself up. I'm not looking for a supplement. If I get to a point where the stress is impacting other areas in my life, then I will talk to a doctor. Now, something I want to talk about. I started my own health journey because of a health scare. I was over 230 pounds, feeling heart palpitations, which turned out to be a symptom of high blood pressure. And I wanted to be around for my kids and hopefully one day my grandkids without a list of preventable health issues. But looking back, In the past, I've been guilty of declining plans because I didn't want to go over calories or miss a workout. That's not healthy either. That's fear disguised as discipline. Now, I've gotten a lot better since then, but the situation with my husband's been a reminder of not letting that fear hold you back from precious time with loved ones. The truth is, even if you do everything right, you work out, you eat well, you stay consistent, life is still short. What happened to my husband wasn't a result of skipping a workout. It wasn't because he ate too many calories or he didn't get his fiber intake. It was random. It was something that could have easily happened to me. It could have happened to Gio. It could have happened to anybody that we love in our lives. Don't let the fear of being imperfect keep you from making memories. Don't let the obsession with doing it right rob you the chance to live. That's not health. That is a jail sentence. Health should support your life, not restrict it. So I want to encourage everybody as we wrap up to be mindful of real health. Be mindful of real health, not just trend-based fear-mongering or fad diets. Take care of your mental health. Be kind to your body. And if you're going through something, you're not alone. If you take anything from today's episode, let it be this. Life is unpredictable. And while your health journey matters, so does your joy, so does your relationships, and the memories you should be making right now. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present, because sometimes life changes in a second. And the best thing we can do is take care of ourselves, so we're strong enough mentally and physically to handle those moments with grace. At the time that this episode is dropping, it should be the day after my husband's surgery. So if you believe in prayer, please keep us in your prayers or your good thoughts, or send us good vibes. And I will be sure to be giving Gio updates and giving our podcast listeners updates. Until then, be careful, make memories, and be kind to yourself. From Mindful Muscle, take care.